Another fishing trip ruined by braid. So can we recommend this for long-term travelling fishermen? I don't think so. About 7 times now with a couple of different braids I've just had inexplicable failures. Like, we test our drag using scales and it's set at about 1/3 of the breaking strain. And I just had a barramundi on the line then. Beautiful, everything was just fine. I didn't even have much pressure and this braid just parted like it was a bit of spider web. So what else can I say? This stuff, it needs special knots. If you just tie it with normal fishing line, it slips. It can cut into your hands really badly. I'm just not into braid at all. And it's really expensive. So this stuff, even though braid is quite expensive, let alone the cost of 2 spools of braid, it's also just lost through just casual failures, about 7 good lures. So call that another, I don't know, $80, $90. And we don't put a price on the fish, but that barramundi that I just lost then was, you know, a good fair few kilos of barramundi that would have fed us for a couple of days. So I'm going to pull this off, and I've got some just good old mono nylon. I'm going to replace it with that.
Do you have any theories as to why you think the braid might be failing?
The best I can come up with is that we are out in a boat fishing nearly every day, and I use this rod nearly every day. So, I mean, and I do strip off a bit of the line and renew it periodically. But I think what's happening is because we're out there all the time, this stuff might be very, very susceptible to UV damage. Just like me. I'm starting to feel a bit burnt. But that's the only thing I can think of, because I've gone through and all the runners are as smooth as anything. So there's nothing that's nicked the line or anything like that. And it's just a sudden, it's just really, there's no pressure at all. Every single time it's just gone pop and just parted. So I think for the casual fisherman it might be alright, but if you're just fishing all the time, I don't see too many pro line fishermen using braid. They're all using good hard Schneider mono or something like that. But yeah, that's the closest I can come up with a theory on this one. I'm still a bit disappointed. That was a really great barra, what, 2 days ago, and another one we lost today. So it's devoed.
2 gold bombers gone.
2 gold bombers. They
brand new.
Brand new, straight out of the packaging. 2 good barramundi. And just, we maintain our gear as well, so we shouldn't have failures. So when it just happens like that, it's particularly galling. So we'll get Pascale to put a pencil through there and hold onto it, and I'll load it up with this nice platinum 25-pound line. And then we should be in business. Made in Australia. It's got to be good, right? Extra strong and extra tough, it says. Yeah. I'll be the judge of that, I think. We'll let the barramundi decide. But today's fishing is over. I've missed that tide now, so it's all bad. It's all bad. I'm sad.
Don't worry, we'll go back tomorrow. Or do you reckon that creek's all over? We need to go to another creek.
No. There's plenty of fishing in that creek.
Great. We'll go back tomorrow. I'll come back with the camera.
Hot out there.
No, that's why I didn't come with you today.
It's a nice slim Albright knot, that one, for joining our leader on. We are back in business. Look at that. Oh, it just cuts beautifully with scissors. No need to...
Stick with the old, eh?
Just an old-fashioned guy, I suppose.
None of this new fandangle stuff.
New fandangle's alright if it works fine.
Mm.
There's plenty of people out there happy with braid, but I don't know, I think we're just away from civilization too long, and we fish really, really hard. Like every day we're doing some sort of fishing. Those failures sort of show up, I guess. I'd be interested to hear from people that run charters where they're fishing all the time, and I don't mean troll gear, I mean casting and stuff like that, or whether they also think that UV is a big problem with this stuff. Look, I'm running out of gold bombers.
You bought 3 and you've got 1 left, eh?
There's one there.
An older one there.
There's another one there. Yeah, there's this one. Like there's the old silver bomber.
But they like the gold bomber. You had 2 strikes from...
They love gold bombers. Love gold bombers. If you're from Fort Smith in Arkansas, then congratulations, your town has made one of the best lures in Australian fishing, the gold bomber. A lot of Aussies think that this is an Australian lure. I know better, but it's probably made in China, to be honest. But the good people of Fort Smith came up with this lure, and it is an absolute killer up in Northern Australia. So thanks for your contribution. Let's tie that straight on there. I'm going to use the old uni knot that we always use. I'm probably not tying it as well as I could because there's a camera here. And I've got a hook in my finger. I haven't left myself enough. There we go. That uni knot's probably one of the best fishing knots I know. But you do need to snug it down well. Test it how fish will. Very good.
How did that break? 3rd barra. Go get the spears. Yes! You rescued the bomber and you got the barra. Finally! Oh my goodness.
Well, where was the break? It wasn't at my knot.
Even mono fails, eh?
Well, there's a lot of sharp stuff in
Yeah.
there. Sorry, buddy. I just didn't want to lose another lure, mate.
Oh, thank God. I'm glad we didn't lose 3 of those lures.
Well,
Well done.
it's not the biggest barra around, but it was definitely an aggressive one. Now this river definitely had crocodiles in it, and you'll notice that I'm using this trunk as a refuge. If a crocodile was able to come up, I could step back, because being on mud puts you in a very vulnerable situation. This was a lovely mangrove jack, and as you can see, as it's approaching the bank, I don't go to it to pull it from the water again because of crocodiles. I actually drag it up the bank.
I heard a little bit of commotion out of the cockpit and I grabbed the camera to have a look and see what Troy was up to, and he was bringing in a decent haul of squid. This morning we went to check out a tidal creek and we were actually looking for mud crab, and we didn't find any mud crab, but what we found instead were these giant clams that we found in between the dead wood in the creek. And we actually found quite a lot of them. And the traditional owners, they call them mud mussels. And I've never had them before, so I'm a bit excited. I like shellfish and they're really heavy.
And I think we might just cook them the traditional way as well, I think.
Yeah, which is putting them on the coals. We're going to cook them on the coals of the fire, which is burning behind us. They're big.
They're big.
They're big. Look at that. Look at it next to my head. That's some big clams.
You've only got just such a small head though.
Well, they're still big clams.
Don't put them next to mine.
Your head's not as big now, you don't have hair.
Look at that sunset.
When shooting footage on the sand, we found that 3 plastic cups are great for a tripod to stop sand getting in the joints. On the menu was some deep fried squid and those clams cooked on the fire.
Oh, that one's ready to go. Look at him. There you go. If you can't cook clams in a fire with your knife, it's not a survival knife. Pretty close to a fire here.
This meal was pretty basic. We battered the squid in flour, salt, cayenne and a little bit of water mixture, and we deep fried it in rice bran oil, and then we served it up with a little bit of Kewpie mayonnaise that we love, sitting inside a clamshell.
I sense Christmas in the air, Pascale.
Yeah, we're making, I'm making chocolate balls.
I'm outside making a mess.
No, Troy's trying to stabilise the boat because they're rolling a little bit with the whole bucket trick. But yeah, we're making Christmas truffles. I've made 2 flavours so far, cherry ripe and peanut butter. chocolate peanut butter. That's under there. The main ingredient in these is dates. So we've been using dates and then adding different flavours to the dates, like cocoa and peanut butter and coconut and cherries, just to get the flavours.
Nice, because it looks like we're going to be here at the Wessels for Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't have any chocolate and we don't have any treats really anymore. We have no more popcorn.
Dear Lord.
So we're having chocolate balls. It's going to be delicious.
So we've got auto steering, where normally a wind pilot would have real challenges. We've got a quartering C. It's not much, admittedly, but it is some. This is a bit of an unusual setup for our autopilot, but we were just filming our 5-minute free range video on how to adapt your autopilot to the wind vane, and this was one of the alternatives. So we've got sailing conditions so light that the spinnaker sort of wants to collapse. But we're getting 3 knots, almost 4 out of it. But a normal wind vane just wouldn't steer in this.
We're heading south. We're leaving Marchinbar Island and we're heading down to Raragala Island. We're going to tuck into a nice little bay that's going to be protected from most swell and most winds. So we want a nice calm anchorage for Christmas tomorrow because it's Christmas Eve today.
We've also got our fingers and toes crossed for some fresh water at this little bay, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. We saw some rain in the vicinity about 2 days ago. We saw a big rain cloud, so we're really hoping that it filled the little pools. We heard from a local yachty that there's little pools there. We're hoping that there'll be fresh water in there for a Christmas swim.
We're also hoping that as we come through this passage that the wind and tide isn't too radical.
That's right, we're going to go through the Cumberland Strait soon and it's quite shallow, so it's prone to some tidal waves, wind against tide.
It's prone to mess. That's what it is.
What's going on here?
Oh, we're just doing 10 knots.
10 knots! And what are we going through?
Oh, hang on, we've slowed down to 9 3/4 knots.
Going through the Cumberland Strait.
Yeah, get your camera out there now. Have a look.
This is crazy. This is what you do if you don't do the hole in the wall.
The current is trying to squeeze through a narrow opening and it's just doing all this craziness. There is shallows there, the shallows over there. I don't know, it's just, we're having a white Christmas. To do this in any sort of sea or swell, just all bad, all bad. Whitewater yachting. Drop that camera, drop the spinnaker. So we're in a river.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Well, that's always fun and games going through those little gaps in islands. So we came around the corner, we've just been under head sail just for the short time that we have to sort of make just a southerly break with an easterly wind, and we're about to turn the corner and happily pop that spinnaker again. And what is it? It's nearly 12, so we should get a nice 3-hour run straight down the island chain to this next bay.
Great.
Pretty good. Well, that autopilot arrangement has worked absolutely flawlessly. What do we got? We've got a bit of a cross seat at the moment and just a head sail, and so that'd be a minor challenge for a normal wind vane. But that thing's really taking it in its stride. But as we turn, the apparent wind is going to really drop out, and we're going to have no wind here, even though we'll probably still be doing 4 knots under the spinnaker. That's where it really comes into its own, I reckon. But there's no apparent wind on the boat, so a wind vane would fail. But there's enough hull speed for the pendulum to still work, so it should still work. But we'll check it out. There's no point guessing. We'll throw that spinnaker up in the air and see how it handles it.
Yep, let's do it. Trim it.
And slack it so it just creeps forward of the headsail. Touch more. Yep.
One minute I was having a nap naked in bed. Next minute. What?
Land effect.
Yeah.
As we come. Come on. I need to douse that. I need to douse that spinnaker. Okay, now we'd come in under a headland, and that had acted to accelerate the wind. That's what I mean by land effect. And we really had to get that spinnaker down, so poor old Pascale didn't even have time to put her clothes back on. Coming into that bay, there were significant dangers in there. When we doused the spinnaker, we were still doing 3 knots, so we did fine just under headsail. I mean, we were still going in at 5 knots, but we really had to keep a good lookout.
Christmas time on board Marul and we're making marinara pasta for lunch. We're going to be putting a little bit of mangrove jack in there, and we've got plenty of squid in the fridge, so we're putting squid in, and we've also got these mud mussels that we cooked on the fire a couple of days ago. We're going to put them in as well. We reckon it's going to be a good combination. So I've got tomato sauce simmering on the stove, and I've got the pasta on the go, and soon we'll be putting in the seafood. I'm going to drain the pasta now. It's not quite cooked because it's going to cook a little bit more in the sauce when I add it to the sauce. So it's al dente. It's perhaps cooked 2 minutes under. I'm going to drain it now and then I'll add it to the sauce. I'm going to reserve some of the cooking water as well from the pasta sauce just to mix through in case we need it. Now I'm just going to add a splash of balsamic vinegar to the sauce just to add a little bit of tang and sweetness to it. I was thinking about adding red wine, but I think we'd rather drink all of the red wine because we don't have very much alcohol on the boat. We've actually only got 1 bottle left and I'd like to drink it tonight with dinner. So it's gone in. So this sauce has just got 3 cloves of garlic and half an onion, and I fried that for about 10 minutes, really low heat in a lot of olive oil. Then we added the tin of tomatoes and I simmered that for about 10 minutes as well. And then we've just added all the seafood, a dash of balsamic, and I actually think I might put a little bit of chili in there too. I'm just putting a couple of pinches in. We like things really spicy, so that should be perfect. That sauce is done now, so I'm going to mix the pasta through, and that's just going to cook. The final stages of the pasta are going to cook inside the sauce. So you're going to get the flavours into the pasta itself, and hopefully it'll be nice and silky. I'm just mixing the sauce through into the pasta and just combining it all together. Christmas lunch. Not a traditional Christmas lunch, but Christmas lunch all the same. Pasta marinara, and I'm a bit sweaty. It's hot. Woohoo!
It's a Christmas miracle, look at it.
Show us, show us. Woohoo! Merry Christmas!
Oh,
The rains are here.
you can't ask for more than that. There's been abundant seafood and now abundant water, so that makes for happy free rangers. What did we get? We got 60 litres last night. Hopefully we'll get another 40, 100 litres of water. That's great.
Yep.
That's a couple of weeks. Okay, once again we've got a few thank yous to make, and first off, thank you for all the new people who've come to join free range sailing. I think people have been sharing us on Facebook with their friends.
Yeah, spreading the word. We've definitely seen an increase in subscribers lately.
Yeah, whether it's on social media or down the pub. All right, go and check these jokers out. But yeah, that's really great. Thank you for continuing to click like, the comments, the whole lot. Just thank you for joining us at Free Range Sailing. Look, people have still continued to donate. We didn't even have to ask you, people. We're just so generous. So we did get some nice contributions. What did we put it towards? We haven't just wasted it on fancy marinas and plush hotels. Well, there are none around here. So what's going on?
So we've taken that PayPal money and we've put a lot of it towards a whole suite of new audio gear because we were really lacking in the microphone department.
And some of our commenters let us know. All right, so we've been listening. What else? And we're getting a much better underwater camera.
Yeah.
Because we were a little bit devastated on some of those times when we wanted to get in, shoot some underwater footage, and
we've missed out.
Yes, through failures in gear.
Yeah.
So we're excited by that. We're going to bring you much better underwater free range sailing. And the other thing is for just months now, people have been asking, when are you setting up Patreon? Now, we're not doing an official launch yet. We have to make a video for that. But we're sort of flat out, aren't we?
We are. We're really busy at the moment.
It's crazy in our lives at the moment.
Yeah.
But the actual Patreon page is open.
Yeah.
And you can go and check it out and just see what we're offering for those people that choose to support us, what it's all about. If you are like me until just recently and you're like, what's Patreon? Pascale?
Patreon is a membership website, so you can jump on board, become a member, and then you can have a look and pledge a contribution to us per each weekly 20 to 30 minute video that we create.
No video, no contribution.
That's right. Yep. So if we don't make a video one week, then there's no contribution taken from you. And if enough people jump on board with Patreon, then we'll have enough money to keep creating these videos.
Yeah.
Every week.
That's the big deal, isn't it? We don't have to stop and interrupt free range sailing
to go back to work or.
Yeah, we can go on a more continuous basis.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with Patreon, it leverages numbers of supporters. So everyone just puts just a modest contribution, but if enough of them do, then we'll have a few $100s each month to keep producing. Because it's not free, is it? We do have costs associated with this channel.
There's
remote area internet is obscenely
really
expensive in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So how can people get to Patreon? How are they going to get there?
We've put a link in the description of the video, which will take you straight to the page, and then you can have a look around on there and see what rewards we're offering to people that jump on board and become a patron.
Yeah, we want to look after you if you want to look after us.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so if you've ever wanted to be a patron of the arts, you can do it for the price of a cup of coffee a week. Or not, if you don't think we're worth it. we can take it. Is that all we want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've said thanks, and we'll just say it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for everything, really.
Yeah.
All right.
And
take care.
See you next week. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button because it makes it more likely that YouTube will suggest our video to a broader audience.